But anyway, what y'all think about full digital displays? What you think about these? Welcome back once again. It's your boy Will Hemi, WILHEMI on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok from the MQ Network. This vehicle here has not a needle inside this thing. And we do got some buttons, which I like some buttons and some screens. But touch screens and digital screens are the way of the futura. They are the way of the future. Now, some people hate them. Some people love them. Personally, I love them. I know that they are a potential problem when it comes time to replace it. When something happens to it, it glitches out. It can stall the whole car, right? That's something we didn't have to deal with back in the day. Back in the day, a digital display didn't even exist. It wasn't until 1986 when the Buick Riviera popped out with the first digital display and actual touchscreen display in the 86 Buick Riviera. But not since then until, I'd say maybe the mid 2000s, like 2010-ish, everything got a digital screen. Now, we have to have digital screens, at least one in the center, just to handle the rear view camera that is mandated now on every new vehicle in the United States. You got to have a rear view camera. But aside from that, everything's digital now. Why is it digital? Now, some people like buttons. I like buttons too. Don't get it twisted. I like it all. I like everything. I like everything going on in the automotive industry, but you know, digital buttons don't exist. And that's the thing. Yeah, it is. But anyway, digital screens versus buttons. Now, the button people, we love the muscle memory. We love being able to touch buttons and control a car by memory. You know your car. You know what's going on. You don't have to look. You don't have to worry about hitting a bump and your finger going off and touching the wrong thing. And you know what I'm saying? And with digital screens, like these big old juicy center screen and everything else, you got to tippy touch everything. And you got to look at it. So you got to kind of take your eyes off the road a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I say there's some of that. But the reason everything is going to digital screens, touch screens, no buttons, is because it makes the vehicle a whole lot easier to produce. You got to understand, with buttons, each button has to be designed, has to be manufactured, and specialized for the vehicle, for the options on that vehicle. So, I mean, for one car, you have a whole lot of buttons that may or may not be in that vehicle. And you got to change every vehicle, every iteration of a certain vehicle, every trim level might have different buttons. You know, so it has, but this one level has buttons that other level don't have. So you got to decide whether I'm going to put a dummy there, whether or not I'm just going to have a button there. You got to be able to use it. Don't put no markings. And it's a lot of engineering work. And then when those buttons fail, something people don't think about. A lot of times, an older car, the buttons fail. Where are you going to get another button? They have to make that. And now you may be able to find an old, hit a junkyard, find one with some buttons that still got some life in them, and swap out whole buttons or whole, little gauge panels or whatever you got. But it's still a problem when they die. So it's not like a digital screen all of a sudden introduces this problem of sudden button death. But it's one way or the other. But see, now with a digital screen, you don't have to create buttons. Like the Tesla Model S is the perfect example. That was the first car, I think, that didn't have any buttons. I mean, it had a couple. There's some mandated. Hazard lights got to be a button. A few little other things by law have to be buttons. But for the most part, everything you do, including shifting in the drive, in the park, whatever, everything you do on a Tesla Model S and a Model 3 and Y for that much, you do inside the screen. And it's that way with a lot of other electric vehicles because it's simplicity. It's a whole lot easier for a manufacturer to design a car and only put a screen in there. And that's just a matter of software. You design buttons and the screen layout and all that stuff and the controls. You design that one time and you copy and paste for every vehicle you produce. It cuts down on production costs. Now, of course, you're going to say, but those screens are glitchy. They trip. You know, they were all reliant on electronics that may or may not work. You know, you got to reboot stuff, you know, and then your whole car is reliant on this screen functioning properly. Now, if you think about the aviation world, screens took over that long time ago. All cockpits are glass cockpits now in the newer planes. And they are pretty much 2 and 3 system redundant systems. So they have at least 2 computers in the nose of every commercial, like Airbus, Boeing, Embraer, you know, that's out there. They have 2 systems back to back. Because of course, if the computer system in an airplane goes bad, you in the air, you gotta get your control back. And these systems control all the movements of the control surfaces, throttle, everything goes through the computer systems. So they have backups after backups. And yes, they crash sometimes. Now with a car, you know, the way they must do it, technology speaking, is that a lot of the car is still analog and still mechanical, even though your interface with it, for the most part, is electronic. Now, steering is electronic in a lot of new cars. Throttle went electronic in like the 90s. You know, we don't have throttle cables anymore. That's something I had on my old Volkswagens. Then, you know, you don't have it no more. It's just not there. Your throttle goes through the computer when you step on the gas. Brakes, for the most part, is still mechanical on cars. Steering, for the most part, is still mechanical. Even if the engine's running or not, you may lose your assist, but you can still swing the car around and stop it no matter what's going on electronically. Now, I really can't say. I'm not sure. Some new EVs, the braking is all electronic. I don't know what you're going to do if it crashes. But the vehicles I roll, I try to stay mostly analog, even though the radio and all the other good stuff is electronic. If it trips out, I still know how to move the car around. I still know how to stop it. I still know how to get where I'm going. Now, you got door handles. Man, if you have an accident in a Tesla and the door handles don't like, how you going to get somebody out of their car? If they're incapacitated, it's like I said, there's some definite drawbacks to all electronic cars. Now, if you can get past the potential disaster of a screen locking up on you and you can't get around it, you can't reboot it or whatever, right? That's going to have to be worked out at some point. But if you can get past that, you got to understand that the aftermarket is going to have your back. Now, with an electronic screen and an interface that does most of the work in your car, it does most of the, well, you do most of the work, but you select and this, that, and the other thing. It's not only is it easier for the manufacturer to create and produce the screens and everything you need for the car that you're in, it's also very easy for the aftermarket to mirror that and create a new one for you. And the aftermarket is actually busy right now creating digital screens to replace analog screens in older cars. Wow. As a matter of fact, in my 300, I just ordered the Phoenix Automotive big Tesla screen for the middle of that. I still have yet to install it. I bought one before and it didn't control my amp, so I couldn't get any sound out of it. So I had to get another one that was programmed to work with my amp. But anyway, that one will be going in the 300 real soon here. But that one eliminates the air condition control, the HVAC controller at the bottom of the stack in the 300. That's going to replace that with the screen. That's going to be on the big screen. And some of you may know it. This thing's been around forever. This is the newest version of it. It still has a volume button on the side, still has a tune button on the other side, hazard light button, sport and normal track mode button also on that screen as buttons. But everything else is now digital. Everything else is now digital. That cost me like $900. So it can be done. They can easily replace the one in your car that may go bad. Your factory one can be replaced with an aftermarket, because when it comes to electronics, when it comes to computer systems, All that stuff is cut and paste, reproducible. Shouldn't be a problem. As long as you got enough memory, as long as you got enough RAM, you got enough, the video processing unit is good, and as good as new car. You get one like that for your vehicle now, easily replaceable. You don't have to go to the dealership and pay top notch to replace the screen. Chances are there will be an aftermarket screen you can get. You can even get one ahead of time and be ready. Save on shipping, save on waiting. They're there. They're making them for the Jeeps especially. I've seen the full digital dash for the Jeeps, Wranglers, even Grand Cherokees and Durangos got them now. They just came out with one that replaces the digital dash on a 12 through, 11 and a half, 12 Challenger through 18. Now the electronic software architecture in Mopar's changed in 18, and it became totally different. So they're trying to keep up, but I'm telling you now, it will be a whole lot easier to replace and upgrade your older car with a new electronic system than it will be to find new buttons and new versions of the old module that was created from your manufacturer 10, 15 years ago that's no longer in production. Those things will be around. Now, of course, the less popular cars may not have the options as soon, but the more popular cars, Chargers, Challengers, stuff that everybody drives. Matter of fact, I've even seen online a replacement total digital dash cluster for like a 06 Honda Accord. Yeah. If I had one, I'd be on it. It works well. It's not really going to be a problem. It's a lot like when the technology moves on, sometimes they got to drag us kicking and screaming. When cell phones stopped having replaceable batteries, I was the pissest. I was beyond pistivity. I loved the fact that I could have an extra battery ready to go in my pocket or wherever in my luggage, ready to go whenever I need it. I didn't have to wait 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour to charge that thing. I just had another battery. I pull off the back cover, slap on a new battery. Then they eliminated that. And now everybody's got to have a battery that's basically in the phone forever. When the battery goes bad, you got to take it to a shop and have somebody replace it, and it sucks, and you got to charge. But, there's options. You got the piggyback thing. You got the MagSafe extra battery. You slap on the back, inductive charge it while you're on the go. Your phone's got to be a little bit thicker. There's little ways around stuff, but the battery that is not removable from your cell phone anymore, the new batteries are much better. They're much stronger. They last longer. And at this point now, I don't miss it no more. I'm good. I got battery management down. So it can be done. The digital screen thing is a revolution. It's happening. It's here. And the best we can say is go ahead and just be ready. When you buy a car, it's going to have a digital dash in it. It's going to have digital everything. Just, keep that warranty in place as long as you can. And even on your older cars, you can, mechanical breakdown insurance. Sometimes they cover all that stuff. Sometimes they don't. It's a crapshoot. But I think we're going to be all right. Well, anyway, time to keep moving. I'll talk to you again later with the next subject. Give me tell me what you think. Do you agree that digital screens are going to be the next thing, or they're going to be pretty much inescapable? Do you agree that you can handle it? Or are you going to hold on to your older analog cars just because they're analog? Or are you going to go ahead and keep it rolling, move on into the next generation with the rest of us? Let me know in the comments, please. And we'll be back next time.